People who have been sued, what was it for? My neighbor sued me because my Christmas lights were too happy and ruined her divorce. I'm not joking. This actually happened last December, and it's the most insane thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. So I live next to this woman, Linda, who's going through this super messy divorce, like screaming matches in the driveway at 2 a.m., throwing stuff out windows, police showing up, twice messy. I actually felt bad for her because her husband was clearly a complete piece of work who cheated on her with his secretary. Since the holidays were coming up and the whole neighborhood felt tense with all their drama, I decided to go absolutely crazy with Christmas decorations. I wanted to spread some cheer, you know? Make people smile when they drove by instead of cringing at the constant fighting. We're talking 15,000 LED lights, 3 inflatable Santas, a light-up reindeer family, synchronized music that played every hour, candy cane pathway lights, the whole 9 yards. My electric bill hit $400 that month, but my kids were absolutely obsessed, and neighbors kept stopping by to thank me. Cars would literally drive out of their way just to see our house. Kids pressed their faces against windows. People were taking Instagram photos. It was absolutely magical and exactly what our street needed. But Linda was definitely not having it at all. First, she complained to the HOA about excessive displays that violated neighborhood aesthetic standards. When they told her Christmas decorations were perfectly allowed until January 15th, she started taking pictures of my house every single night at exactly the same time. Then she storms over at 8 p.m. one Tuesday, right as I'm turning on the synchronized light show, screaming that my obnoxious display of happiness was making her look unstable during divorce proceedings. Apparently, her divorce lawyer told her the judge might think she can't handle stress if she's constantly complaining about Christmas lights to neighbors. She demanded I take everything down immediately, or she'd make me regret it. I thought she was just overwhelmed with the divorce stress and politely declined. Biggest mistake of my life. 2 weeks later, I'm making breakfast when someone knocks loudly on my door. It's a process server with a thick envelope. Linda was actually suing me for $8,000 in damages plus legal fees. Her claim? My decorations caused her severe emotional distress during a vulnerable period, and she wanted me to pay her therapy bills, punitive damages, and compensation for loss of peaceful enjoyment of her property. I had to read the lawsuit 3 times because it was so completely ridiculous. She claimed my lights created a hostile living environment, and that seeing people smile at my decorations was a constant reminder that her marriage failed spectacularly. The best part? She had documented absolutely everything like some kind of Christmas surveillance operation. Photos of my house with timestamps showing exactly when I turned lights on each night. Sound recordings of my inflatable Santa's motor running. She even measured the brightness with some professional light meter she bought on Amazon. Her lawyer actually tried to argue that my decorations were intentionally provocative and specifically designed to torment her during her divorce. They brought printed photos to court showing happy families taking selfies in front of my house, claiming this proved I was flaunting joy at her expense. When the judge asked what specific damages she suffered besides her feelings, Linda stood up dramatically and said, seeing happy families enjoy Christmas made her realize how absolutely miserable her life had become and that I was responsible. The judge looked at her lawyer with complete disbelief and said, "Counselor, are you seriously asking me to ban Christmas in December? Are we really doing this right now?" Even Linda's own attorney looked embarrassed and started shuffling papers. Case dismissed in under 10 minutes with the judge calling it frivolous. But Linda wasn't done being completely insane. She started posting rants on Nextdoor about how the legal system failed to protect her from neighborhood harassment disguised as holiday spirit. She made a whole Facebook group called Victims of Excessive Holiday Displays and invited the entire neighborhood. She got exactly 0 members. Even her own sister declined to join. The funniest part? After losing the lawsuit spectacularly, she doubled down and put up one pathetic string of lights on her porch, like she was trying to prove she wasn't anti-Christmas, just anti-other people's happiness. Linda moved out 3 months later when her divorce finalized. The new neighbors specifically asked me to keep the exact same light display because their kids absolutely love it and it makes the whole street feel festive. Sometimes I still can't believe someone actually tried to sue me for spreading Christmas cheer and making children happy.